So we do this. We're gonna be predict who's going to be on the 53-man roster. So there's 90 guys in training camps. There's one international exception as far as the roster goes. Who is going to be on that first 53-man roster? The active roster when the Ravens take the field in Buffalo against the Bills on the opening of Sunday Night Football. So after Carrie Underwood sings, after the game, when the game actually kicks off, who's going to be there? Tough decisions on defense, I got to tell you. Offense, I think we know a lot of the names, but on defense, it's tough. Some injuries are going to determine some things. There are also to be some guys that won't be there. Like Adiz Isaac is a great example of a guy. He's just going to be on injury list for a while. He's not going to, you're not going to have Adiz Isaac for a while. So there are some guys that'll be on the roster at some point this season, but they won't make the first 53 on IL. We'll go ahead and discuss a lot of that. All right, so quarterback. Obviously, you start fearless leader Lamar Jackson, starting quarterback. Did have a bit of a scare today with his foot. Everybody says it's fine. They probably just took him out for precautionary reasons. He looks good during preseason. He should be ready to go when the season starts. Cooper Rush today. Definitely, that's the second quarterback. They got him in free agency in the offseason. That's it. I don't think they take three quarterbacks. Devin Leary, he doesn't even look good enough to be on the practice squad as far as I'm concerned. He has not played well. I think I would definitely suggest looking at the waiver wire, looking at some of these vets, see who's available for somebody to even put on the practice squad as well. They're going to carry two quarterbacks. I'm sure of it as well. It could be that I'm thinking it might be Devin Leary, but I wouldn't carry him. But this is not what I would do. This is Devin Leary, probably on the practice squad. Running backs, 4. I kind of thought Harbaugh was bluffing with carrying 4. What I meant, I think with Keaton Mitchell's injury, it was possible that he was going to go on IL. Keaton Mitchell was back at practice, out there practicing. So I think they're going to carry 4. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, Rasheen Ali, Pat Ricard. Justice Hill is definitely going to be your second running back. No question about it. I think everything I've seen here, it's going to be Justice Hill is going to do that. Rasheen Ali is going to get some time, at least on special teams. I think that's probably why they're pushing so hard for him to be there. Keaton Mitchell, I think, will definitely get some time with his explosive ability and Ricard. I don't know how many you can play during the course of a game. There's no way. That's a lot, especially when you got Derrick Henry carrying so much luggage. But not a problem having too many good running backs. Wide receiver, yes, this is pretty simple. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Tylan Wallace, Devontae Walker, and LeJohntay Wester. No question about it. The biggest question was LeJohntay Wester being a draft pick going to be what they had hoped for in the punt return and all that? He's been more than they hoped for. He's got some work to do still as a receiver, but he's been excellent in the punt return. I don't think after a while they're going to kick to him. He's looked great on the punt return as well. Absolutely made the team. He's looked good at wide receiver at times too. I think he's had some rougher days as a wide out, but he's looked good as a wide receiver at times. So I can't really argue that. Zay Flowers, your number 1 receiver. Bateman, your number 2. Hopkins has missed some time in camp. Tylan Wallace is for sure on special teams or whatever. So this is no question about it. Keith Kirkwood has kind of, I think, been 7th. But yeah, these are your guys here in the lineup. Tight end 2. I only think it's 2. I think it's Mark Andrews and Colo. I'm a believe, and I know some people may disagree. I think they're going to put Isaiah Likely on IR when the season starts. I do not think he's going to be ready for week 1. He hasn't practiced at all. They even though John Harbaugh was kind of being coy, we might. I don't believe that. Also, too, I think roster-wise, you do have Pat Ricard on your football team, so you can kind of play him as the third tight end, etc. You need a guy in there as well to kind of pick up that slack. They are carrying another. So I think I don't think Likely is going to be on the 53. I only think it's 2 Andrews, and Charlie Kolar. Offensive line is probably our biggest concern on camp that I've seen. I mean, they just haven't, to me, played well at all. Now we haven't seen Linderbaum and Stanley obviously in the game. That's going to matter a lot when the bell rings. So have those guys play. They have gotten through camp healthy so far. So that's always good. Voorhees is clearly going to be the left guard. I don't think Voorhees has ever been that bad. I think Voorhees as well kind of struggled a little bit last year. He's good in camp, I think, here. So there's no question about it. Falele, I don't know what to say about Falele. I think I would say this. It is fair to say that Ben Cleveland wasn't good at right guard either in the last preseason game. So those of that are saying that's right. But Falele's your guy. That's it. So it is. Rosengarten, a little bit of a mixed bag, even himself in preseason. And I think not too worried about Rosengarten as well. Those are your starters. Note Boom is going to take the place of Pat McCary. It's going to be your sixth offensive lineman. I think he's going to play at multiple positions. You already saw it in the Dallas game. He's at left tackle. He's at right tackle. So he's going to be in multiple positions. Ben Cleveland, I think for sure, makes the team as a backup. Harbaugh does not like him. That's clear to me. He didn't play well last week at right guard. I've kind of seen that. When he does struggle, I think a little bit on the right side. I think he's better on the left side as well. So I think that is correct. He's your most experienced guard, so I do think he makes the team. Shout out to Corey Bullock, I think, starting at center in the game against Dallas. That's a huge tell. The free agent, I think he definitely makes the team. Beat out Nick Samak. Samak played much later. Bullock actually is not look bad. I do think you talk about seeing Ben Cleveland. Let's see what Corey Bullock possibly guard as well. But he's looked good at center. Carson Vincent, project, probably not going to play this year. You're going to see him deactivated a lot. I think they already know. I think he's about a year or so away. He said he's carrying 9. I kind of thought that anyway, though. I didn't think they'd carry 10. I thought they would pretty much carry 9 offensive linemen. Defensive line, Justin Matabuke, Travis Jones, Broderick Washington, Brent Urban, John Jenkins, and Aeneas Peebles. Let it begin. Matabuke, we know. I think he's an all-pro. He's going to definitely be there. Travis Jones is definitely going to be your starting nose tackle. Broderick Washington will probably start at tackle. I think we're going to see that. I think that's probably right. Interesting here. Brent Urban, so many times with Brent Urban, what they like to do is they go ahead and release him, and then they sign him. They kind of used to do this with a couple of guys like Anthony Levine, and they go ahead and they sign him and they sign him back. So I think that's a possibility that he's not on the 50. I do think he's going to be on the 50. I do think they brought him out of retirement. They're going to bring him in. I think they're going to carry him on the 53 at the start. CJ Okoye is making this John Jenkins thing interesting. I do think it's Jenkins. I think Okoye. I think they're going to keep him on the practice squad as well. They're going to definitely try and do that. But Jenkins has been okay. I mean, I think, but Okoye, I think, is giving him some pause and making this interesting as well. Peebles has looked really good, so I definitely think he's on there as well. I do think Okoye factors in it. It's possible that they don't do that. I think this is pretty close. It is possible that you could keep him and not Brent Urban, or him and not John Jenkins as well. I think Urban, for sure, he's going to be on the roster at some point if he's not on the first 53. But I do think this is how it'll look when you come out of camp, the first, when they come out of preseason. Linebacker, Dafiowe, Roquan Smith, Trent Simpson, Kyle Van Noy, Mike Green, Jake Hummel, Teddy Buchanan, Jay Higgins, Tavius Robinson. I think the starters, we know 3 of the 4, Owe, Smith, and Van Noy, they've been good in camp. Always had a bit of a quiet camp, but he was like 10 sacks last year, so I don't think there's an issue. Some people have been on Trent Simpson a little bit. I think that's going to continue into the season, but he's definitely going to start for him. I think out the gate, he's been running with the first team. I do think it'll be Simpson. Mike Green has looked fantastic, as we know. No question about how his ability. I think this is one of the steals of the draft, Mike Green. So outstanding, the future of your pass rush. Jake Hummel, I think he's going to play special teams. Buchanan, I'm really debating whether he's been better than Jay Higgins. I think Jay Higgins absolutely makes his team. He's had interceptions in each of the games. He's been standing out in practice. If it was a kind of a case, why didn't we draft Higgins instead of Buchanan? So one of the reasons why now I think maybe you get both, because I do think both are going to be on the 53. I don't think you could keep Jay Higgins if you put him on practice squad. I don't think you could keep him if you put him on practice squad. I do think there's a good chance that somebody else may take him to be interested in him. Tavius Robinson fills out the other spot, working with Jared Johnson. The other day, he apparently is a big admirer of Jared Johnson, so wearing that 95. So they brought him in. Tavius Robinson definitely filled out his role last year as well. No David Ajabo. I don't know if I don't think he makes it. David Ajabo has not really looked great in camp. I do think with the Isaac injury, some people believe I think it's an opening for him, but I don't think I'm not sure he's still even in that situation played well enough. I think that leaves a sliver of hope if they do want to carry 5 edge rushers, because historically they have. But I don't know. I don't think he's done enough. If they do carry 5, it is possible they could bring somebody in. I don't think Ajabo makes it out of camp. Cornerback, I think 5. Jair Alexander, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Chidi Awuzie, TJ Tampa. They've all been really good. They can't. Jair Alexander, you could argue he's been the star at camp. He's with some of his injuries. Nate Wiggins has been really good. Marlon Humphrey has been solid as well. Awuzie, probably the quietest of the group, but I think he's also been really good. TJ Tampa, 2 interceptions today. Maybe the best cornerback group in the league as well here. Couple more. Safeties. 6. Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton. Look, you lose a Darius Washington, and the Ravens, for a value proposition, drafted the best safety in the draft, and that may have helped them have one of the better defenses in the league. Malachi Starks is going to be their starting free safety. He's looked terrific. I think everybody's talking about Green. Malachi Starks has looked terrific. Kyle Hamilton, maybe he's the best safety in the entire NFL. Behind him, I think Jalen Armour-Davis is going to get some time at safety. He's had a quiet camp. He hasn't been feeling great, so he's missed some time on the field. Sanusi Kane, Bo Braid. I do think Bo Braid slipped on the depth chart, maybe behind Ruben Lowry, but I think Braid is there. Braid, I think, has been good in camp. I think his game is a little quieter in general. And what I mean is he makes a lot of really good tackles, but not always a lot of splash plays. And Ruben Lowry, I don't think there's any doubt about it. Undrafted free agent, I think they take another one here. Lowry has had interceptions as well. Keon Martin, I think, is close here. I think it's a bit of a discussion. He was playing pretty early in that game as well. I don't think they move out any of these guys for Keon Martin. I do think they are going to keep him on practice squad or whatever, unless there's an injury of some kind that we don't know about, and as well. Last we know, Tyler Loop definitely is going to be your kicker. Jordan Stout and Nick Moore. Loop, I think, has looked good in camp. I think they had some trepidation about it. Obviously, he's a rookie, but Tyler Loop's look good. I don't think there's anything worried about there. And Jordan Stout, Nick Moore as veterans, they're going to be on the roster. We know. There you go. The final 53 predictions for the Ravens as well. Ajabo, I don't think makes the team. I'd be surprised if we have David Ajabo on the final 53. Possibly they could keep him on practice squad, but I think somebody else might take it up as well. Interesting also to see what happened with what they do with Brent Urban. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there at some point. I'm not sure he's going to make the 53. Sometimes they'll take it off. Okoye has really pushed the issue. Some guys are pushing it. So even with this really good defense, they have guys that are really pushing the mark. So this might be the best defense in the league. The way some of these guys are looking, some of these young guys. So some of these decisions, even though some guys may wind up on the outside for sure, they're very tough decisions, and they're going to be good, I think, regardless of who they select. So that's always what you want. You want guys, too many guys that you like. That's always a good thing when you have the final 53. We got one more game with the Commanders on this weekend. So a short trip, obviously. Commanders are going to go ahead and play the Ravens as well. So we're going to get to see a lot of the Ravens backups, even less in this game, where you're going to see a lot of players that would play during the season. You should be like, you haven't been seeing Lamar Roquan, but I think even more guys that are going to start, you'll probably see them less. So you'll definitely see guys, a lot of the guys for sure not make the roster, end of the roster, like 78 guys. They'll be playing more practice squad guys. They'll be playing most of the way in this one. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of in this last game against the Commanders on Saturday. So definitely check that out.